I had made a complaint about ongoing noise in a house next door and um, problems with rent forms and rent changing all the time, and just volume of stuff coming at me from the council. And um, felt that it was constituting harassment at this stage, what was going on, because they were overloading me with stuff to deal with while all the noise was going on, because I complained to them about the noise. So that was the situation. And I complained to them about the noise and they didn't respond to it. So I went off to a, a post, really it is, of a person called the Ombudsman, whose office deals with consumer complaints about stuff you've bought or agencies that you've dealt with, anything where you haven't you feel that you haven't received your proper rights. So that's the update I'm giving you now and what happened. So the two cases were about noise, and the other one was about all the rent forms that they were sending me, and various duplications of forms, and then correspondences about other things, including house inspection, and the latest one is another round of rent forms just a couple of weeks after filling in the last one. So the ombudsman didn't deal with the harassment element of the case at all. And I asked them why, and they didn't say why. They just said you can open a new complaint about that if you want. So they want to deal with all the elements separately, which I don't actually feel that they are separate, because I feel that all the tsunami of forms that I got to fill in and letters have to do with the fact that I complained about the noise in the first place. So I feel that's contributed towards the harassment, all those forms, but it was dealt with separately. And the noise one, uh, they have announced that that case is now closed, because they investigated it and they got the council to send me a letter. So the letter from the council that arrived, that was in response to the complaint that was made months ago, last year in winter, um, said that they would not have done anything about the noise at the time. Anyway, so as long as their workers were covered with ear protection, they didn't care about me, basically. And they would not have moved me anywhere else either. So that was the letter I got, a sorry but not sorry letter, in other words. And the ombudsman presumably has seen that letter and he's happy with that as closure to the complaint. So I got no joy, basically. And then the other one is still open. The one about all the messing with the rent is still open. I don't have huge expectations of doing well in that either. Um, and although they're telling me I can make more complaints, I'm saying, well, hang on now, is that going to be just more stress for me and then no resolution at the end of it? The way this one, I didn't feel that that was a decent resolution at all, leaving it for months to respond to your complaint and then saying, well, you know what, we wouldn't have done anything about it anyway. And that's not acceptable to me as a tenant, and but it's acceptable to the ombudsman, apparently. So I'm putting it in the title of this video that it's making me think a lot about what I value in this home and what I don't value. And I've had a lot of problems in the home. And actually, when the inspection comes up, it's not going to pass the inspection, because in my home, it's become increasingly damp. It's the humidity here is something like 70% anyway, but it has infiltrated all my clothing and books, and anything that was dry is not dry anymore. And everything I have to keep in plastic bags, basically, to protect it from getting damp, moldy, smelly, and rotting, basically. And to add to the problem, when winter comes, the damp problem is going to get worse. And I'm not going to be able to throw heating at it because in Ireland, the electricity is now so expensive that um, I think it's a fifth of the population are in arrears on their electricity bill and are doing things like me, like not using washing machines and washing things by hand and turning off refrigerators and not using the oven and things like that and not heating at the house, although you don't need to in the summer, luckily. Um, we're doing that to save electricity on our electricity bill, which is too high to pay. So in the winter, obviously, that's going to create a problem. A house that's unheated is going to get even worse, a damp problem, isn't it? So I'm thinking what's probably going to happen is that if they do an inspection, it's going to fail and they're going to want to do some kind of work on the house immediately, which is going to be more noise, isn't it? So you can say, okay, that's a disaster. But I have a habit of doing things in my life that I say, okay, if life hands me lemons, I'm going to make lemonade. So the lemonade for this might be a life change of um, location. And when one door closes, maybe another one is opening. And so the door that's opening might be applying for a transfer to somewhere else um, with the council, some other council house. So basically, something that's not damp and that passes whatever their standards check would be in their mind, something that's not actively damp when I'm moving into it. So, it might mean parting with the garden. It might mean having to get rid of some of my stuff. But this is what life does to you. You can either go into a crisis mode about things and stay in a crisis mode, um, and let it ruin your life, or you can suddenly not try and not disentangle yourself or be non-attached to uh, something that's bringing about a change and let go of the old thing. So in my mind, I have let go of fondness for this house because it's kind of been ruined anyway, through the damp, through the council, and their actions and the action of nature at my house. Um, so I'm not as attached to it as I was anyway, and I'll have to recognize that and say, okay, maybe it's time for something new. And if it's going to be chaos and upheaval that they're going to propose in this house, because remember, they wouldn't move me out for the noise happening the last time. Maybe I can get a transfer and get out that way to somewhere a bit quieter because I don't think I could tolerate all the chaos, noise, and disruption and dust and all that in my house for months. Because to fix what's wrong, I know it's not a quick fix. Now, you could say that's worst case scenario and you don't know what's going to happen. But to fix a damp house around here, it's retrofitting, really, isn't it? Which I was talking about in the last video. So I have to mentally prepare myself to go through a new portal in my life, perhaps, because when one door closes, if that door closes, you have to be ready to step through the next door in your mind in order to be not all over the place emotionally about it and be prepared in your mind for the next stage. So that's what's happening, and that's what I'm choosing. So I am choosing to not stay in the really negative place that the council are dragging me into, and the ombudsman were actually helping them do that. I did my best with the situation. It hasn't resolved it in any good kind of a way for me, but that inspection actually might be a lemon that you can make lemonade out of and get me out of this house into somewhere new. I go through that new portal into a new place and I'll see what's on the other side, huh? So that should be interesting, seeing what happens next